is one.
So get with it. Squats on point, man. Ready to destroy, man. Trying to have fun, but anybody can get it. Be on the grind till the morning. Stacking up the money in the bank. Don't try shit if you want. Show man a sign if you're down for the gang. Can't fuck with the gang, we don't fucking pretend. We be busting the clubs, cause you know that we can. Can't fuck with the gang, we don't fucking pretend. Still rocking the show, still feeling the flow. Swagger on point when I step in. Signs in the air for the gang that you're repping. Don't get brave when I'm stepping in the rave. If you show man love, everything's okay. So we're a lively rave to have fun in. If there ain't girls in the place, we ain't coming. Middle finger up to the Jake, stepping in with the gang. Please tell the police they can't come in. Show me a salute, that's gang. Pure love for the crew, that's gang. Don't chat shit if you ain't gonna bang. Nothing seems the same, always on the go now, never seem to slow down. You've been playing games, you don't pick up the phone now, when you know I'm never home now. Tell me when am I gonna see you? 'Cause I've been missing your body, right beside me. Tell me when am I gonna see you? Driving me crazy, I can't take this. All I wanna do, all I wanna do, all I wanna do is be right there for you, be right there with you. All I wanna do, all I wanna do, all I wanna do is be right there for you, be right next to you. Wait a minute. Trust is not an issue. Just pick up your phone now, 'cause I'm on the way back for you. Tell me when am I gonna see you? 'Cause I've been missing your body, right beside me. Tell me when am I gonna see you? You've been driving me crazy, I can't take this. All I wanna do, all I wanna do, all I wanna do is be right there for you, be right there with you. All I wanna do, all I wanna do, all I wanna do is be right there for you, be right next to you. Wait a minute. I know we ain't talked in a minute, but it's time. Living in the thoughts and the visions, but between the lines, yeah. I can't even talk with the visions there in my mind. 'Cause every time I fall, I can feel you there by my side, yeah. So show me the way and I'll follow you. Show me the way, 'cause that's all I do. Take the leap of faith and I'll dive into my diamonds. I'm finding this divine light inside of you. Tell me that you want me, baby. That ice cold stare, I just wanna know you, baby. From 1 to 3, got me looking everywhere for you. Count the stars you always on. Underneath my skin, feel my bones are creeping in. I don't want this love to end. Underneath my skin, when I look into your eyes, see the miracle of life shining. chamber. Look outside. Just another danger. Just another white lie. Can we try? We might be just the first light. But what if you're right this time? They rise up under cover of the darkness. You better make sure all your weapons are open. So. takes a piece out of our hearts. So away, away into the darkest parts of me. I need a change desperately. I thought love was a lost art till you showed me some sanctuary. Now I never wanna let you go, never gonna let you go until we're both on souls running out for love. You were there with open arms when I thought love was a lost art. Empty halls, running with my eyes shut. If I fall, I'm not sure I can get up. So I'll find a way to stand until the light of day. I need a change desperately. I thought love was a lost art till you showed me some sanctuary. Now I never
phase one.
raining.
I'm sorry, I thought I heard somebody say something. Did somebody say something?
Yeah, don't worry.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm in City 3.
motherfucker! Oh shit! I'm so sorry, sir. I just wanted to overtake.
Did you
Are
not
you alright?
see? Did you not see my turn signal?
I did not see any indicator whatsoever, sir. Maybe your light is broken.
Well,
Maybe you have to
did
check it.
you
But
did
let
you
me give you a repair.
did you ever think that maybe, just maybe, it's not a good idea to overtake when you're coming up on an intersection?
But there was no one pulling up, you know, and you didn't decelerate, so I had no suspicion at all. I'm really, really sorry for the inconvenience, sir.
It's all right, dude. Um, don't worry about it. As long as the vehicle still runs, I don't care.
I should be back in the running now.
Okay, cool.
Have a wonderful day, sir. I apologize sincerely.
It's okay. Just be more careful next time.
Will do next time. Have a nice day.
You too. Hello.
Hello, sir.
How's it going?
Sorry, I had to go for a few calls. You're Mr. Joseph Sanders?
Yes, ma'am.
Gotcha, gotcha. All right, let's get it going then. Since we are just here alone, we might have to pause training and go start taking calls and everything like that because it might become a little bit hectic. How are you confident with the interacting with the people and the stuff like that? No, not kind of like how do you say, shyness or anything like that?
Nah, I don't have any issues with interacting with people.
Gotcha, gotcha. All right. Well, you go ahead and hop in on the City 3 Training in Progress channel. Here's going to be out of character. The other one is going to be in character. First of all, we'll have to check your Discord. Is it? Are you using an app or are you using a website?
I'm using an app on my PC, so like anytime I want to do anything on Discord, I have to actually like go to Windows and switch apps real quick. So
So it's not just through the website you're using.
right, right. It's an actual app, but
Gotcha.
it's on my PC, so I can only like be active on one program at a time. So like I'll have to hit the Windows button and switch
Oh
programs
yeah,
real
yeah,
quick.
Alt tab. Yeah, yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. Okay, so first things first, your microphone is fine and everything is fine. You're using a push to talk tab.
Yes, I use push to talk on both the game chat and um, Discord chat.
Excellent. All right. Now that that's established, so what quickly I'm going to tell you about Discord is that if you alt tab back to Discord, you'll see that there's a server 3 EMS on duty 1 channel, server 2 EMS on duty 1 channel, and server 1 EMS on duty channel. So whenever you clock in to EMS and you want to start doing EMS work, you have to be on one of those channels. Like for right now, we're in City 3. I would be in the server 3 on duty 1 channel. All right.
Okay.
All right. That's for everyone knows that you are on duty. And if you are not on that channel, you know, people start asking it, who is this guy, and blah, 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 and you'll get in trouble. And we don't want to do that. So, but first things, just before you clock in, you go to the channel. Well, actually, since there's nobody there, let's just go there. So let's go to the server 3 EMS on duty 1 channel.
Okay.
Towards this orange circle over there and select emergency. All right. Nothing will happen, but you'll see a little red dot on the map, mini map, right? You see me and yourself.
Yep.
All right. That usually tells you that you're clocked on. So next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna go select the uniform. Now go into that blue circle, go all the way down and select light blue male uniform. Male uniform, light blue. That's it. There we go. So this is the uniform you will be using as a EMT. The other ones are for different ranks and stuff like that. You're allowed to put a stethoscope on, just like I have right now on me. And you are allowed to use a hat of EMS. And how to use the hat of EMS, you're going to write. You're going to write that in your text, and your character will put a hat. And only that hat is allowed to wear. There we go. That hat can be taken off by 0. So if you want to wear hats, you go ahead. If you don't, that's fine. All right.
Okay.
All right. Next thing you want to do when you clocked in and get your uniform and everything like that, you need to get yourself equipped. So first of all, you approach here on a green circle, and it will say locker. So whenever in the locker, if you have any weapons on you right now, knives, pistols, whatever, except flashlight, everything needs to be stored in this locker. Every single weapon. Weapons are not allowed in EMS, and having a weapon while on duty will get you in massive trouble. So you don't want to do that.
Got it. I just stored what I have.
Gotcha. All right. So now with the weapons locker, remember you take out all those weapons before you clock off. All right. Because if you clock off, you cannot access these circles. So you have to again clock in to go to the circle. So you want to just go ahead before clocking off, go to the circle, get your weapon, and then go ahead and clock off. Okay.
Okie dokie.
Now, also don't forget those weapons because if you do, they might disappear after the storm. So, of course, when you need to clock off before the storm, retrieve your weapons. Otherwise, they will.
Right, right.
All right, now, real quick on this circle, you'll find yourself a flashlight, which is free, fire extinguisher. You need to get 2000 pressure to get it full, and flares that only costs I think it was $50, and you can buy as much flares as you want. Now flares don't burn anything or anything like that. It's flares and the fire extinguisher are mostly cosmetic. You don't really need them on duty, but in case you want to RP that you're putting out fire or giving a signal for paramedic who's arriving on a helicopter, you might drop a flare as well.
Right.
Okay.
Sounds logical.
All right. So yeah, remember fire extinguisher. If you want it full, make sure you have 2,000 ammo in it when you buy it.
Okay.
Okay. So next, the most important thing is you go ahead and go to this circle. You'll see it's got a market drugs. So as a EMS, you most important things is the medical kits, right? The medical kits enable you to revive people. If you don't have medical kits, you cannot revive people. They also be used when you treat for the little injuries that people have, and I'll show you in a moment. So my suggestion and recommendation is to buy 20 med kits every time you go on duty, and maybe buy yourself 5 vehicle repair kits, unless you already have it, just in case, because locals drive a little bit weird when you go on the scenes with the ambulance. So there you might have crash and everything like that. So you have to have some vehicle repair kits on you to repair it. Okay.
Okie dokie.
All right. The rest of the stuff you can buy as well. It's just a kind of like a market. There's some stuff that are not sale on the regular shops, like tea, premium donuts, orange juice, kebab. All that can be bought only in this EMS shop. You can give it to your friends and everything like that, but I suggest not to put it on sale if you own a store or something like that, just to avoid it, because it's kind of like whitelisted shop, and I don't think admins like if you put those whitelisted shops things on sale when you open your own store.
Right. It makes sense.
But giving to friends and everything like that, of course, it's fine. And there's no objections for that. Okay, did you get your medkits?
Actually, is there an ATM nearby? Because I have no cash on me.
All right. So I'm glad you asked. So it's very important when you go on duty, make sure you have at least $2,000, right? Because the medkits cost $10, so they're cheap, but they still cost something. Same thing with the vehicle repair kits. So I'm gonna give you some money right now, but for future, when you
actually, I just saw a notification that I got a pay. Well, that probably goes to the bank, doesn't it? Yep.
Yeah. You need actual cash. So hold on. There we go.
Okay.
So whenever you clock on duty, make sure you have at least a little bit of cash with you. ATMs are like miles away from hospitals. I don't know why, but that's how.
Yeah, it seems like every time you need something, it's as far away as it can be.
That's true. All right, you got yourself medkits and vehicle repair.
Med kits, yes. Let me go ahead and get the
Yeah,
repair
I would
kits.
suggest like well, 2 is enough already, but just in.
I just did 4 for now.
Mhm. Okay. So, gonna explain this circle over here. So every hospital has all these circles. They are just in different locations, so you need to find them. I'll show you the most common ones, so you won't get too much lost. So this circle, you know, as a civilian, you go here, you get treatment, you fix your health. Now, as a
Hmm.
EMS, when you clock on, you have another option. It says send for treatment, right?
Right.
All right, so that's when you send patients to treatment when they're down and you did not revive them. So why do not revive sometimes patients? Well, first things first, medkit has a small chance of failure. So whenever it fails, you cannot revive the patient anymore. And no matter how much you try, it will not allow you to do so. So in that case, you adapt. The patient's injuries are way too severe to revive him on scene. So you'll have to take him to the hospital, and in that case, you'll put him in a ambulance. You drive him right into the hospital, get on this circle carrying the patient, and then you drop it here and send him for treatment. All right.
Okay, dokie.
So you've probably seen sometimes. I don't know. Have you been brought to a hospital? But some medics, carry patients. They drop them off here. After 30 seconds, the patient come back and they feel better.
I'll be honest with you. I've only had like 2 interactions with the EMS, and both times they were able to revive me. So yeah,
Oh shit, you
yeah,
live pretty well then. Not
I
getting in trouble too much?
yeah, I tend to stay away from the sketchy stuff as much as possible.
Gotcha. So you're kind of like me. I last time I went down, I don't even remember when. Okay. Well, also, you're allowed to take patients to hospital and drop them off like that if you deem that their wounds are much more severe. Let's say a patient, you haven't seen a patient says he got shot in the face 100 times. Well, naturally he doesn't have a head then, or in very critical condition, right? So in RP, if a person got like a shot a lot of times, or you deem that this guy cannot be on his legs or and walking around even after you help him, then you go ahead and tell him like, all right, sir, you got shot 6 times, I stabilized you and everything like that, but we're gonna have to go to the surgery and doctor will take a look at you. Then you pack him in the ambulance and take him to the here and send him for treatment without actually initiating the revive, right? So it's kind of like an option.
Right.
All right, so of course, keep in mind if patient slipped on banana peel and broke his nail, of course that's not warrant for you to take him to the hospital. So if he refuses to go to the hospital, even though you think that nail really needs an X-ray, and he doesn't want to, then don't force the patient to go to the hospital, right?
Right. I mean, gotta be creative once in a while, right?
Exactly. All right. All right. Any questions about these circles or mechanics around here?
No.
All right. Well, let's get to your ambulance then. So the ambulance is downstairs over here, if you follow me. Oh, also, yeah, I mean, I know you're gonna ask, so I'm just gonna tell you now. If you want your arm, like hold the radio, like I do when I talk on Discord, right? So you go ahead and go to your settings in GTA and go to the, I think it is general. So yeah, you go to the settings, then keybinds, then general, and there's a radar zoom slash multiplayer information. If that keybind, you bind to something that you have in your Discord, whatever the button you use, then your character will lift the arm on the radio and start. So I'll give you a minute to do it if you want.
Okay, cool. That worked.
Oh, there we go. Oh,
Ooh, I even like the sound effects it makes there.
I know.
That's actually a really cool touch.
Yeah. Makes you more serious if you wanna RP the shit out of on dispatch. Like, this is Melina. I'm taking latest 901.
Right.
Uh-huh. Okay, so just real quick before you get your ambulance, remember the channels where you're gonna be when you work. Use etiquette of no goofing around, no playing music there or anything like that, and also communicate with everything you do. If the call pops up and there's other people on the channel, they're working EMS as well, you check the map, see where the call is. If it's close to you and you haven't been taking any calls lately, you say like, "Hey, this is Joseph Sanders. I'm gonna take this call, or I'm gonna take this latest 911 call." So that basically everyone knows that you are going to that call. Once the call is done, you just announce on the channel like, "Hey, well, scene clear is the shortest one, but you can also use all kinds of variations to let everyone know that you're done with the scene, you're available and ready to go again."
So, just a quick question. Are a lot of people familiar with 10 codes? Because I actually went through a police training program at one point, and I'm pretty familiar with like the 10 codes and whatnot.
Yeah, so on a police, I don't know if they use those. On EMS, we don't, because we have a lot of people that are not from United States, including myself. So we have no idea about those codes, and we kind of don't bother to learn them, just to simplify things. You can still use codes. I won't promise anyone will understand what you say. If you say like 12, 15, or whatever, I don't know codes. So everyone's going to be like, what?
Okay, that's fair. So, I mean, I guess if I find out people are familiar with them, I'll use them. If they're not, I'll just use plain English then.
Yeah, plain English. The most common is 10-4, I guess. People know that, but the others, nah.
Yeah, like 10-7 would mean like you're in service, 10 or out of service, sorry, and 10-8 is in service, stuff like that.
Yeah, well, I already would not know those, so like I said, use at your discretion. If you know that person just doesn't understand those thing codes, then it's just easier to say the scene clear or scene at the Del Perro freeway is clear or whatever.
That's what I'm saying. I'll probably just use plain English unless I know the person understands codes, but
Exactly.
it'll probably take some getting adjusted too, because I'm like used to using codes.
Yeah, well, all I can say is like EMS dispatch channel, or where we are now, is a little bit more slack. Sometimes when people know each other and there's no calls, they actually sometimes just talk on a channel and stuff like that. It's allowed, as long as it's not disturbing, and if there's somebody who actually is working and then of course you don't chat with your friends. But overall, it's not as strict. You can say, "Hey guys, how are you doing?" And I'm gonna take this call over there. I'm gonna take this call over there. I could use a transport and stuff like that.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough.
All right, let's get your ambulance. Now, when you buy the ambulance, it's just give it a few seconds. It sometimes takes some time to, so to say, materialize. So, especially for a first time for you. So you go ahead and buy an ambulance right now, and just wait. Don't spam. Oh, there we go. Well,
That was like
went
instant.
nice and smooth. Yeah. Sometimes people have less better computers, so for them it might take a while, and they spam buttons, and suddenly there's like 10 ambulances appearing on each other.
Yeah, I do a lot of video editing, so I have a very decent computer to to run on. So yeah.
Gotcha. All right. So as a EMT, this is gonna be your main vehicle that you're gonna be driving. It's extremely nimble, even though you wouldn't believe ambulances would be. But this is. Be careful when you drive backwards. It's very responsive. We'll try it out in a second. But before you do that, I want you to go ahead and try pressing Q button. All right. So you get your lights on by hitting a Q button, and only when the lights are on you can actually start the sirens, and sirens is by hitting number 1 button.
Oh, okay. I knew about the up button for that part, but I didn't know about the 1 part.
Yeah, so you go ahead and click 1. Now hit R button. No, when your sirens are on, just click 1 and R. That's secondary siren, and R again. That's third, and we'll go back to the.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's real nice.
All right. My suggestion also, when you're arriving on scene, let's say 500 meters before, I don't know actually in the US terms, but when you're getting closer to the scene, you turn off your sirens and just keep the lights on so it doesn't disturb the scene with the loud noise, okay?
Right.
All right, there's also secondary siren, which you already knew. It's just an arrow up, so it's quite easy to. What ambulances I suggest is that it has a nice big trunk. You sometimes, if when you go off duty, before you're clocking off, you stack all your med kits that you have left into the ambulance. So next time you go on a scene and you'll remember like, oh shit, I don't have med kits. Then you always have them in the ambulance later on. It's like, oh yeah, I remember I stashed, you know?
That's actually smart thinking, actually.
Yeah. Same thing with the vehicle repair kits. It's useful to have them in the ambulance in case you forget.
Right.
Okay, so let's start driving. We're gonna drive towards the marina, for you to also get used to a little bit with.
Okay. Marino, where exactly is that?
There we go. I marked here.
Okay. Oh, you weren't lying. It is very touchy.
Yes, it is. Now, about the ambulance, when you drive in the city, of course, you use all the traffic, rules and everything like that. When you go on a call in the city, it is recommended, of course, going under 100 miles per hour, even the lights and sirens on. In a city, I actually even recommend going from 70 to 80 because there's much more traffic and everything like that. On a highways you can go 100, but as long as you're comfortable and control the ambulance well and you don't run into the locals and crash often, you know, drive at the speed that you're very comfortable with. All right.
Okay.
Now it will be a little bit of shock for you in the beginning when you start driving with the lights and sirens, because the locals are going to be reacting differently. Most of the locals will get out of your way, so they turn to the right or to the left. But some locals get also panicky and they start sometimes even driving at your lane. So you need to keep an eye open. When that happens, you know, you slow down, make sure you drive slow enough but fast so you have a reaction time, you know, to weave through the locals. All right?
Right.
And when you're gonna be arriving on a scene, make sure you slow down, turn off your sirens, keep the lights on, and keep slowing down until you reach the patient. Try to get your ambulance as close as possible, and preferably on the even ground. If you park your ambulance somewhere on like the front nose is on top of the hill and the bottom is like on the bottom of the hill, it's not on even ground, which makes loading patients into the ambulance extremely, if not even impossible to load him. So make sure as much as possible, keep it on even ground when you load patients into the ambulance. Okay.
Okie dokie.
Now, every ambulance has, of course, EMS security systems. If civilian jumps into the driver's seat, it will instantly disable the engine and your ambulance will be broken. If that happens, you have to just go ahead and repair it with the repair kit and good to go. Now, as a EMS personnel, when you clock on, ambulance repair is free, so you can repair it at the hospital garages where we just were, or at the repair shops by yourself. It's completely free and it's going to be full repair.
Okay.
Also, when you're approaching a scene, like once you're slowing down, try to see already where you're going to be parking your ambulance, before you actually park it, because it's very important you don't leave it in the middle of the road or something like that, because locals will ram it to it. Maybe some player will drive past and leave your ambulance in the middle of the road, who probably going to collide with it or something like that.
Right.
And
but you also want to create a lane of safety too.
exactly. So, like I said, use common sense. Make sure use your ambulance as well as a tool to prevent from more harm done. For example, if you're somewhere in a tricky spot where people driving fast, you want to park your ambulance so that it is like a shield for you and your patient. So in case somebody hits your ambulance, it will take all the damage and keep you safe, and you don't get run over or anything like that.
Right. Like I said, I'm pretty familiar with like the basics of the procedures and whatnot, because I did go through a police training program. But it's just a matter of learning the differences in rules with you guys and what they do.
Yeah, some rules are a little bit different because overall this is a video game. But yeah.
And that right there is an example of locals being idiots.
Yeah, you'll get used to it quite a lot here.
Trust me, even driving my personal cars in here, I've learned.
Yeah.
I live on the speed limiter too.
Yeah, so you kind of like even as a civilian, you drive all by the rules.
Oh yeah, most times I do. There's very few times I don't.
Gotcha. Yeah, I do the same. Not because I feel like it's some kind of a elitist RP. I just do it because it kind of makes me more immersive, to the world. So.
Right.
But there's nothing worse than you driving nice by the rules and then a taco truck rams into your car because the brake sucks for that. Have you managed to read all the SOPs before training?
I did read through it all a while ago. I'd have to go back through it as a refresher.
Yeah, well, we'll both go through it. I'm gonna tell them all to you, and in case when I start doing that, if you feel that something is unclear and you need a more clarification, you stop me and let me know.
Okay.
But first things first, let's park our ambulance here. I'm gonna show you the boat rescue mechanic. We do get sometimes scuba divers who go down, or some other people that are in the water, in the ocean, and when swimming is too far, we'll have to take a boat. Alright, so the EMS boats you can get from every boat shop all around the county. So when you're responding to the water call, see which boat shop is closest and how far in the ocean the guy is. and then you just go ahead and drive to the boat shop, get EMS boat, and sail or drive to the patient. Okay.
Okay.
Now, how much money do you have, by the way? Well, let me rephrase. Do you have $15,000, and if you spend it, it's gonna be very like hurtful in your?
Honestly, between my bank account and my cash, I have about 8,000.
$8,000. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, that's awkward.
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah, I don't really do a whole lot in this server other than drive around and like RP with people, you know.
Gotcha. So I guess we won't get the boat for you. Actually, you know what? I wonder if there's any ATMs around here. Do you know any?
I don't, unless.
Oh, I actually do. I do actually. I know. Let's drive there. I'll give you some money because you do need a EMS boat. Unfortunately, it costs $15,000. I don't know why, but I'll give you money for that.
Now. Sorry, that was habit.
No, locking vehicles is a good thing. Right over there at the clothes shop. It's not far. So, but remember, when you lock your ambulance, you don't want to put your patient into the ambulance that is locked, because you know what happens sometimes when you lock your vehicle and you try to unlock it and the other player is near it, you cannot unlock it, you know, the silly bug.
Right.
Yeah, so if you put a patient inside the ambulance and try to unlock it, the chances are you won't be able to unlock it. So you'll have to take patient
and then
out.
you got somebody that's basically trapped in the ambulance.
No, I mean you can take him out of from the ambulance and unlock it and then put him back in. I'll show you all the mechanics as we go. I'm hoping maybe we get a call so we can practice that on the. But I'll go through it real quick. All right, 1 sec. All right, let's go back then. There you go. You should have the money.
Yep. That. Okay, I honestly don't understand what these locals are, what they're doing half the time.
Why?
That lady just like parked her car and then just ditched it where she parked it.
Oh, maybe she went to the other side, so doing something else, or who knows?
Who knows? You're right.
Yeah, who knows? Like, I get it. People say that locals drive bad. Yes, they do. But also, like, I've seen some players driving as bad as well. So at least locals don't drive 200 miles per hour.
200 miles an hour? What kind of car is somebody driving that drives that fast?
Supercars.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so there was a guy who asked drug treatment.
Yeah, I
on
just
the
saw
Twitter.
that. I
You
was
see it?
about to ask about that.
Okay, so you can respond to them by using adding this in the front slash with all small letters slash LSFD, and then you write a message, and you can say like you can say like we will be available in 5 minutes. See you at the Mount Zona Hospital.
Okay, so type that in real quick. Jeez, I cannot type.
Ah, it was fine. Don't worry. So yeah, that's how you put a LSFD thing in there, but it only works when you're clocked.
Okay.
All right. So we have 5 minutes. That should be plenty enough. Which get you the boat. Do you know how to swim?
I do.
Excellent.
Somewhat.
All right, you go ahead, jump there, and go ahead and buy yourself an EMS boat. I think it's called. Now wait a second again with the thing, and it might take a while to appear.
Okay.
There we go. All right. Do you know how to lock the boat?
To lock the boat.
Well, basically to anchor the boat so it doesn't move at all.
No clue. Never driven a boat yet.
Okay, so when you sail a boat, EMS boat, you want to stop your boat right next to the patient that is in the water. It's gonna be usually right over here. Try to get him on this, close to these edges, right? Not where the motors are, but to the right or to the left.
Uh-huh. Right.
Okay, so you stop your boat here. Naturally, if you just leave your driver's seat, the boat starts drifting away. So to anchor the boat, to stop from doing that, you leave the driver's seat. You go ahead, do that.
Hi, I want to
hit
buy boat. Move.
Button.
Okay, sorry, can you repeat that? I had a guy like blowing my ears out saying he wants to buy a boat.
Well, you leave the driver's seat and or driver's steering wheel, and you hit the U button.
Okay,
Basically lock it.
I hit U.
I come back later.
Press U.
I did do that. It's not showing anything.
Oh, so maybe you have different keybinds. What do you do to lock your vehicles?
Hit U.
Oh, then it should be locked. Try driving. Now leave.
I was thinking maybe it's because it's in the yellow circle.
Well,
There
there
we
we
go.
go. As you can see, boat stops and it will never gonna drift away. So after that, you want to approach your patient that is in the water. You can stand on the edge like that, but be careful not to fall in. And then you're
Right.
gonna select the EMS option, which is basically when you open your menu with the M button, you'll see you have a new option. It's called EMS, right?
Right.
Alright, so you select that and you see the first option is Dragon Conscious, right?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so by using Dragon Conscious, you look at the patient as close as you can he be, and you hit that Dragon Conscious and he will appear right on your lap, and you can then put him back in the boat on the floor over here to get the treatment.
Okay.
Okay? Alright, once he's on the floor, you go ahead, I suggest perform CPR, which is also another option that is you see on the menu
Yep,
down
I see
below.
it.
Perform CPR is not just for performing CPR, it also extends the bleed out time by 2 minutes, and you can do it every 1 minute or 1.5 minutes or something like that. So it basically stabilizes the patient and allows you to work on him more before he bleeds out and have to go to the hospital.
Right,
the
or a
latest.
situation where it's like a violent situation and you just need to wait for the cops to get there, you know.
About violent situation, well, we'll talk about that. But yeah, basically, it is to extend the person's bleed out time so he doesn't get respawned into the hospital.
Okay.
When you perform that, you will see exactly how much time the patient will have before he's going to respawn in the hospital. So you'll see the notification and you want to beat that. You know, you want to cure him before the timer runs out. Otherwise, he lose all his stuff and all his strength and everything.
Right.
Now, it's a quite lengthy animation because your character starts to do all kinds of things with their arms and everything like that. And like in mid animation, it starts doing an actual CPR. It actually starts pumping the chest. That kind of looks silly when you try to do somebody who got shot and you don't want to pump all the blood out of him. So you can actually cancel that animation by hitting Y button after like a 5 seconds into the animation. At the beginning, you will not won't nothing will happen, but once 5 seconds passed, you know, you hit the Y button and it will cancel it.
Okay.
All right. Well, any questions about the boat mechanics and everything like?
Nope.
Oh, very important. Sorry, one thing. If your patient is down and you try to revive him and it doesn't work, aka medkit failure, you will have to transport him to the shore, load him into your ambulance, drive that ambulance to the hospital, and send him for treatment there. Every time you do that, remember to put your boat back into the garage, because if you have boat somewhere out, you cannot get a new one, and it will cause a hassle. And if you get another water call, you basically have to swim then forever. All right.
Okay. Thanks for the heads up.
Okay. And the other tip is when that happens and the patient cannot be revived, if you drive in a very heavy storm, the patient might flip and fly out of the boat because he's going to be on the floor here. You don't want that to happen. So in that case, if you need to transport the patient, you go ahead and select Dragon Conscious. The patient will appear on your lap. Then you go ahead and lock your boat and go ahead and sit behind the wheel with the patient on your lap. That way he will never fall into the ocean again. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Well, that's for the boat mechanics. Let's put it back in the garage and let's get that drug treatment.
Why the heck is he not swimming up?
Okay.
Apparently I forgot what my key binds were.
All right. So for future, every time you're under the water and you don't know how to get on shore, you hold Shift and S buttons. That will always get you to.
Okay. Leave it to me to do this and forget what my binds are.
Okay. So as you can see, I use drag option to drag you right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing we can do. Then you just drop the patient by selecting drag option again. Then in normal cases, I would want to check how long does the patient have before he bleeds out. So I'm gonna go ahead and perform CPR. Now, I started chest pumping immediately because I was talking on radio same time, so it kind of ruins the animation. But when you start seeing that you start chest pumping, you hit Y and it will cancel the animation. And I also now noticed that you have 16 minutes till you're gonna bleed. it's very good to use when you have multiple casualties to see who needs treatment first and who is more critical and who needs the attention before bleed out.
Right.
Alright, so now, as usual, I would role play like yo 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 this and that, and then I'm gonna hit the reanimate button, which gonna start this animation. It will consume one med kit and will also you cannot cancel this animation, so you will have to go. And there we go.
Okie doke. Let's
All right,
try.
we'll go ahead and try to put a.
Let's
roll
try
it
this
again.
one more time.
Okay, let's go to those two calls because people need help. Unfortunately, people at the drug treatment. That's the thing is that whenever call comes in, you'll see the pop-up coming on the upper right corner, player requesting medic. If F1 to accept, and it will show you exactly where it is. And then you just follow the GPS. I would suggest also looking at the map first, where it is, and then drive there. Now, I'm gonna take all of these two calls, and you just watch and observe, but you're gonna be my driver.
Okay.
First things first, you always, of course, announce on channel. So if I would be with somebody else, I would say, all right, Melina is gonna responding to the first 911 call. And by saying first 911 call is the call that came, you know, of course, the first one, and this latest would be the last. Go ahead, lights and sirens, and let's drive there. When you have lights and sirens, you can go through the red lights and everything like that, as long as you drive relatively careful. Now you want to put your ambulance somewhere relatively close to the patient, but so that it's no danger to anyone else. Okay. Oh. Hey guys. Hey officer. Hey, what happened here?
On this, officer. I don't know why.
No, I'm on holiday this week.
Where's the other officer?
I think his head exploded.
Ah, gotcha, gotcha. Oh, you're the one, the trainee that was asking for a checkup not long ago, right?
See another officer.
Yeah, the officer's head exploded, so.
Oh.
Alright, let's take a look at you, hey. Where does it hurt? What happened to you, man?
My chest hurts. I was driving and I hit something. I don't remember what. I think it was the sidewalk. I lost control of the steering, and then I flew out the front window. I hit my chest on the steering wheel, and I slipped over it, and I fell out of the front window.
Gotcha, gotcha. How bad is the pain, and do you have any difficulties to breathe right now?
I just have pain on my chest, but other than that,
I
Okay,
get
so
out of
you
here.
don't.
a little
Okay,
bit pain. Not
okay,
too bad.
and
I would
how?
say, on a scale of 1 to 10, a 4.
Okay, so that's probably just a bruise. I'm gonna unbutton your shirt and just gonna take a look, okay? Just making sure that you don't have any ribs broken, okay?
Okay.
What was your name again? I'm sorry, I have to
Caleb
ask many times. Nelson, yeah, there you go. All right, let's. Gotcha. Okay, a little bit of bruising. Don't worry. Then I'll give you some mild painkillers to go through the shift, and you should be okay.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna help you up, and I'm gonna see how you're gonna stand and walk around. Okay? In case you have any concussions or anything like that, we'll have to discuss about possible transportation to the hospital. But
Okay.
we'll hope that's not the case. All right, nice and easy now. There we go.
Ooh.
Do me a favor, walk around a little bit. Okay. A little bit shaky, wobbly, but that's kind of normal from impact you suffered. But what I suggest is, when the shift is over, if the pain continues next day as well, go see a doctor and see if he can take an X-ray of the chest area. Okay.
Okay, I will do that. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Well, take it easy. We got another call to run for, and
Okay.
have a safe day.
Yes, I think that is another officer.
On the highway.
Affirmative. Yes, it is another officer.
Gotcha. Could you ask him to call again, because for some reason it's disappeared for us.
Okay.
Gotcha. We're on our way. Seeing clear. Melina is taking next. All right. Now you hit F1, that button over there, and off we go to the next scene. Now, what we're gonna do on this next scene is I'm gonna be still showing how basically interaction going on, but I'm gonna be allowing you to, when I say like you can do this and that, you can practice all the functions of EMS, right? The dragging and stuff like that. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Hello, officer. Melina from EMS. Oh, you don't look so good at all. Motorcycle accident?
Yeah.
Damn. The crushed up. Where does it hurt most?
All over.
Gotcha. Well, good thing you have a helmet on.
I broke my lasagna.
What? Sorry, not a Native American. What's lasagna?
You know, my spaghetti casserole.
Still don't follow.
You know, the turkey ain't got no neck.
I know what he's saying.
Yeah. I think I'm starting to follow now. Yeah. How the hell did you manage to break that?
What? What are you talking about?
Never mind. How does it feel when I apply pressure around your neck, sir? It's all swollen and in pretty bad shape.
It hurts. It hurts real
Yeah.
bad.
What about around your groin area? How bad is it?
I don't know. I can't feel it.
Gotcha. Alright, don't worry. I'll drop an ice pack over there so you can so it can chill out a little bit. And I'm
Okay.
gonna put a neck bracer on you, sir. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Alright. Joseph, there's a neck bracer back in my in your ambulance. Could you bring it to me? Thank you.
You have two clumsy officers on duty right now.
What?
I know.
Listen. Oh. Whew. Whew, that's cold.
Yeah. Keep it there for a while. It's a little bit swollen there, down there, man. Okay. Thank you very much.
Not sure if that's swollen or,
Whoa, wait, whoa,
you know.
whoa.
Well, I'm pretty sure it is. I mean, having an erection when you're in pain. Have you ever managed to do that? That's kind of interesting.
Hey, some people
Unless
that,
you
you
do
know.
your really kinky shit, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he is a cop, so, you know.
Ah, yeah. The handcuffs and everything. You got a soft, or what's the fuzzy handcuffs?
No, mine are just steel handcuffs.
Oh shit, you're like it rough, I guess.
Of course.
Right. So this is my trainee, Mr. Joseph Sanders, right? And I'm gonna be using you, officer, unfortunately, as a little training dummy for just a brief
Why
moment
do I gotta be a
to
dummy?
show him all this stuff. Well, training patient then, okay?
Oh, okay.
All right. So Joseph, you go ahead and make sure you stabilize the patient. So you go ahead and use a CPR on him, and then cancel after you start chest. All right, you go ahead. All right, when you perform that stabilization, it will basically you examine him and how badly the injuries are, you know, how is the patient doing, and then make assessment of that. Is it critical or not? Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So now I want you to do is you're gonna take the patient with the drag up and go at the back of your ambulance and load him inside a vehicle. So you drag him, you walk at the back of the
Go to
ambulance,
the hospital.
and you put in the vehicle.
Ooey.
Sometimes you need to spam a little bit, few times. Get in the vehicle until he actually
Hey,
gets
can
in.
you
there.
let the other officer know just to get rid of him? Oh, never mind.
Hey! Sweet ride!
Do I have to
Come on, you can do it.
drop him
Yeah.
first, or?
Try
Yeah, you drag him.
put me in on the
Get
side.
close. All right, take him again, and try to put him in the ambulance from the sides or from the back. Just spam the get in ambulance button
Your ride, huh?
and look at
Right
the
there,
ambulance.
Oh, you don't want,
Okay, so I know what's the issue here. The ambulance is not on even ground, so let me just park it properly. Again. All right.
Yay!
So this is how you put the patients into the ambulance and transport to them to the hospital. Right now the officer is in good condition, so we don't need to do that. So now you go ahead and look at the officer like that, select drag, and then get out of the vehicle. And he should appear to your left. Now drag the patient. Almost over here. Now lay down the officer on the ground here, and you go ahead and help him on his feet. I'm very thankful for your cooperation, officers. You have been great help. We are here on duty just by
No
ourselves,
problem.
so you have to use everything we can to train.
I'm all for new people on the EMS field.
Thank you very much. So you go ahead and revive the officer now.
So do the reanimate key.
Yeah, reanimate. At this point, you want to sometimes say like, "Hey, Just take my hand or put your hand around my shoulder. We'll get you up and standing. You might feel a little bit dizzy at the beginning. All kinds of stuff depends on the injury. All right. Well, there we go.
You good, dude?
I'm good.
Okay. I just ain't heard you say anything in the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, sorry, we're communicating kind of through the radio as well. He's okay. He was. I asked him to get the EMS boat, and it was a test of swimming. He didn't pass.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Alright, I gotta go, guys.
All right, take it easy. Okay, so now let's get to the vehicle and drive to Zona Hospital. I'll mark it on your map.
Okay.
Alright, you see the GPS?
Yes, I do.
Alright, so now sometimes doors keep opening like that. Now you can go to your menu and explode your vehicle. Explode it and then explode it again, and it will close everything.
Explode vehicle.
Yeah, it's yeah. And then explode. There you go, it puts it back in. There we go.
Okay.
So it's not actually you're gonna explode it, it just opens all the doors and everything.
Okay, apparently the vehicle's having hiccups. Oh, I need gas, that's why.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it, but here we go. Make a U-turn, the gas station's right behind us. Usually U-turns are not good, but otherwise we get... Okay, so this is a kind of wanted you to experience. Next time when you get the ambulance, make sure you check your fuel as well, all right? Because if you start getting hiccups and, you know, get stranded, yeah, that's gonna be a big problem.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I'm just trying to take in
No, I
so
mean-
much information at once that I just wasn't paying attention.
It's alright. Most of it just common sense, man. You'll learn it with the experience.
Feeling takes so long.
I know.
Yay.
Alrighty then.
Oh, these brakes are touchy. This'll take some adjusting to how this thing handles.
Yeah, it's actually not that bad. You'll get used to it. Ambulance is one of the. It's funny that even it's like the most bulkiest vehicle on EMS, but it's the one that handles actually the best. It's very good. It's nimble, you know, but getting used to it, it's gonna take some time. So I knew the gentleman who needed drug treatment in Mount Zona, so he's saying he's still there. So why don't we use lights and sirens to drive to Mount Zona, because in case the other calls come in, and treat his drug addiction.
Sounds good to me.
Now remember, you can drive in when you have lights and sirens faster than 50 miles per hour in the city as well. But if your style and if you're comfortable driving like at these speeds, then that's fine as well. All right.
For now, it's just a matter of adjusting to the vehicle. Like, once I get used to it, I'll probably drive it faster, but...
Yeah. All right. I know it says no parking and stuff, but go ahead and park in front of this hospital. I'll get you permission to park a vehicle this time. Here we go. Let's go see the patient. So whenever there is always somebody who needs help for drugs, addictions, or anything like that, you will want to instruct him to come to Mount Zona Hospital. This is the only hospital that treats for addictions and drug addictions and stuff like that. Other hospital is just mostly for recovery.
Okay.
Hi guys.
Sorry for waiting.
Hello.
We had a call, but now we are available. Which
Yeah,
one of
we
you
understand.
seek treatment?
Oh wow, that's very nice. Actually, Mr. Slugs here, we should agree with the LSPD that he gets treatment here. He's actually in my custody right now, and there's also a therapist inbound.
Okay, sounds good. So, first things first, I'm Melina, sir. This is my trainee, Joseph Sanders. We're gonna be also conducting a training while we're gonna be treating you, if that's okay.
That's acceptable.
Alright, so go ahead and basically look what I do, and I'll explain you as we go on half our character and half. Alright guys, so why don't you go ahead and follow me? Let's get you into the wards. So Sanders, when you meet the patients here, you kind of want them to send it to the wards over here, where they can sit down on the bed while you go get your equipment. And yeah, go ahead and pick any beds you want, sir, and sit down. Can you also tell me what kind of drugs or substances have you been taking that you need to be cured of?
Yes, I have been using methamphetamines, the blue kind. I'm sorry, I'm having an issue here. I've got the jitters.
Oh, okay. Careful. All right, so I'll teach you how to do it, sir. Once you get up, now look through your eyes, yeah, or just turn around on the spade. There you go, and sit down. All right,
I've
so
got the jitters
methamphetamine.
bad, Melina. It's
I
Melina.
understand. Yes, it is Melina. Okay, so Sanders, when you bring patient here, you want to ask Probe if he remembers what he taken. Not everyone does, but this gentleman said he needs help from meth. He has been taking that. So that gives you instantly heads up which drug you're going to be getting from the pharmacy over there. All right, so now you go ahead and go get we'll go get the drugs. Over here, there's five different drugs and drug testing kit. So why don't you go ahead and get yourself one drug testing kit, and
They got a nice place,
20
nice setup here, Joe.
bupropion drugs, okay?
Okay, so I got the drug test kit. What was the other one?
Bupropion. That's a drug against meth addiction.
Okie doke.
You got him? 20 pills, right? Or 20 doses. Do you need money or are you still good on it?
Got it.
Alrighty then. I'll let you know which drug does what after we're done with the gentleman here.
Okay.
Alright, sir. So my trainee is going to be performing a test first, and then he's going to be administering you the antidote that will be binding all the traces of meth to itself, and then in a few days it will exit through the urine from your system. So now you go ahead, Sanders, and you need to look towards the patient, and they kind of like, and then use the drug testing kit on him, and it will tell you what substances the gentleman has. So you go ahead and select the.
Big gentle, Sanders. Okay, big gentle now. Bedside manner, bud.
Okay, so I used it and it said he doesn't have anything in his system.
Yeah. So this is what I'm also going to be teaching you, Mr. Sanders, is that sometimes we get those drug testing kits right from China, and half of them never work, so we'll unfortunately have to improvise. Now, in this case, it's good that the gentleman remembered what did he take. In this case, he took meth. We know what drug to give. I'm going to explain you later how we can determine if the gentleman did not remember which substances did he take. But in this case, you go ahead and start administering the bupropion to this gentleman over here, and until he notices some spike in his health. Like you, sir, you will notice a little bit of that your body just doesn't want anymore, and once that happens, go ahead and tell Mr. Sanders here, and he will stop administering the antidote. Okay?
All right, I got it.
All right, you go ahead now. All right, keep going until the gentleman will let you know.
Achoo. Sorry.
Now, sometimes it might take a while. It depends how many substances or doses have patient taken. It's 1-to-1 ratio.
Taken a lot.
Yeah, if the gentleman has taken 100 doses of meth, you'll actually have to pump 100 doses of bupropion into him to just.
All right, that hurts. Oh my God.
Okay. All right. Well, that's it. Now, when the patient gets hurt, his body tells enough is enough, right? No more drugs. That's your call sign to stop, and that's also tells you that the gentleman has been cured, and all the nasty stuff or the traces of bad stuff like meth is gone from his system. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Well, sir, there we go. Now that you're fine and dandy, you're good to go. One thing I would like to ask more is that my trainee is gonna go ahead and administer you just small dose of vitamin shot that will help you with your health that you just suffered. So if you don't mind him doing that?
No, I'd like some vitamins. They're free. They're on the house, right?
Gotcha. All right, so you go ahead, Sanders, go close to your patient, and then go to the EMS menu and select field treatment. And if you initiate it, you'll see the animation on the person. If he's coughing, you administer against cough. Now he's vomiting.
Right.
You select the vomiting. All right. He's feeling a little bit nauseous, but it'll be fine. There we go. Feeling better now, sir?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still not, you know, the best, but I'm almost there. I'm almost feeling right. I've just got a little fuzzy head here.
Yeah, well, go ahead and administer just a little bit more dose so the gentleman starts feeling better. Now he's holding his breath.
Yeah, now I feel good. Why have I been using these substances? I need vitamins. How do I get vitamins?
Yeah, vitamins. All right, get yourself some orange juice and everything, you know.
I think my magnesium.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you. Actually.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you very much for being so patient with us. You know, training takes time, and you know, I'm very happy that we get some people to train onto because it makes it much more interesting and interactive.
Maybe y'all should start subsidizing lab tests. I'm just saying, guys. Maybe they can permit some lab testing.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. All right, guys. You have a wonderful evening and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. You're the best.
No problem.
All right. After you've done the drug treatment, you can go ahead and sell back the Bupropion. How many you have left? As for drug testing kit, you can use it anywhere in the county, even in Sandy or whatever. So I would suggest put that one in your ambulance because sometimes police officers would like to say like, "Hey, we would like you to run a drug test on this suspect over here." And that way, like, oh, okay, you go to the ambulance, you know, pick the drug testing kit and do the test. So it's not always in your pockets.
Right.
Okay. Did you get rid of all the drugs?
Yep.
Gotcha. So I'm gonna send you on a Discord the memo which drug do what. You don't need to read it right now, but it's good to open when you start treating patient. It will tell you what drug does what and what stuff like that.
Right, right.
All right. Now, very quickly, I'm gonna go through them really fast. Like I said, it's 1-to-1 ratio. If guy took one line of cocaine, you're gonna be administering 1 dose of lidocaine. Lidocaine is against cocaine, Bupropion is against meth, and naloxone is against the pill addiction. Methylphenidate, whatever the really long name, is two times more stronger than Bupropion, but it works against meth. I usually don't use those things. And labetalol is against cocaine, but it's twice as strong medicine as well. So remember, if you overdose the patient, let's say he took 1 line of cocaine, and you give them like 10 doses of lidocaine, his health starts dropping and he actually goes down, so you have to revive him.
Okay, okay.
All right, let's get you to a treatment now. You're a little bit wobbly, so let's get your health back up. And then we have a call in the hunting grounds. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna drive to the pillbox. I'm gonna take my helicopter. The helicopters is for paramedic are higher, so you won't be able to fly it. But since it's so far away and to save time, I will just fly there. And if you're comfortable, you can take that scene and RP out if you want.
Okay, as much as I'd like to, I actually have to start getting out of the city for the day because I got to be to work in a little bit. So I do appreciate the time for at least starting the training.
If you go in mid away, I'm sorry, but this is not going to be finishing the first day then.
Okay, that's fine.
When do you have to go to work? How many minutes?
Actually, I have to leave in about 15 minutes.
Okay. Oh. Well,
Yeah,
that's
I
awkward
didn't.
because
Yeah, I didn't
you
think
do
about
know
that.
that if you're in channel, you have to be at least 90 minutes to 2 hours.
I was not aware of that part.
Okay. Well, that sucks. What are we gonna do then? So I'm gonna write a memo about it that you've been almost full basic on the mechanics and everything. You will have to go through the SOPs and everything. You'll have to repeat day one training, but it's gonna be probably a very short one.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You'll have to do the day one again, but I will put a note there that you have already halfway done it, so it should be shorter, and the paramedic will know what you know already and what you still need to learn in day one. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, to clock off in Mount Zona, you go over here. Naturally, you want to park your ambulance back into the garage, but if you're busy, then I understand, or you have to go. So you clock off over here, hit just the civilian, and
Okay.
and once you do that, remember to leave the channel we are in. And I'm sorry that we didn't finish it, but yeah, the training takes for about 2 hours, and
Yeah,
you kind of have to repeat day
understandable.
one again. I'm
Yeah,
sorry about it.
that's fine. I just didn't realize what time it actually was, honestly. So that's on me. That's my bad.
Okay, well, don't you worry. I'll, like I said, I'll make a note to next paramedic that you pretty much went almost through everything, so he will know what he needs to go through to finish. So next day one training is going to be very short for you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, well, good
And
luck, man, and
yeah, like I said, I
I'll see you around.
apologize about that. I should have been more aware of what time it was.
Yeah, well, we'll adapt. No worry.
Okay.
All right, just remember to leave